We're back at xable.com at the National 28th Annual Veterans Wheelchair Games. We're watching Scott Winkler, Paralympic athlete. Just finished his shot put, now he's ready to do discus, and he just did one warm-up throw, and he's going to do one more warm-up throw. And Scott is just an incredible model of what you're going to expect to see from an international elite level athlete. I mean, he's got the mental part of the game, he's obviously got the physical part of the game, he's got the equipment, and he's using this as a great training session to get ready for Beijing, which he'll leave in right at a month, to go to Beijing, acclimate a little bit, get used to the food and the country, and represent the USA on the Paralympic team. He holds the American record in shot put, and they're expecting some pretty awesome discus throws here. So I think probably what we'll see from Scott in discus is we'll see that he can control the discus and get some good level flight on the discus, and that way they just kind of cut through the air and cut through the wind, and compared to some of the other discus that we see, I think Scott's going to have some really good technique and a really nice fluid discus toss. So he's doing the mental part now. He's doing this mental preparation, his visualization, the routine, and look at that nice flight. Outside the vector, these vectors are measured by U.S. track and field regulations, so it's the same rules that the Olympic athletes use, and Vet Games athletes are doing the same. Apologizing to his volunteer, made him jump a little bit out there. That's one thing for sure with some of these discus, you're not quite sure where they're going to go. And if he were to slip a little bit early, it would be coming in our direction right over here. So if this was a novice, I might not stand here, but with a Paralympic athlete, I think we're pretty safe. This is first throw for a mark right here. Nice level. Oh wow, that's a nice throw. That's pretty impressive. He's not real happy with his flight on that. You saw his hand come out like, oh, it needs to be a little bit more, maybe a little wobble, but I thought he had a pretty good release on that one. Tons of volunteers, tons of officials out here. Omaha just done everything to the top for these athletes, and that's what makes a great games. Got a big crowd out here watching Scott, and they know that they're in the presence of an elite athlete who's fixing to represent the USA. Everybody's here supporting him and giving him encouragement for a great performance here to get ready to go to Beijing. And here we go, second throw. This is exciting. This is so much fun. Just out here watching these athletes do their best. Oh wow, that's excellent. Look at that. Wow. Yeah, I can see why he wasn't happy with his first throw, because that one was just so much better. I mean, we're talking 3 or 4 meters farther on the second throw, so wow, how good is that? Man. So, one more throw. I can't imagine, maybe we can interview Scott and ask him about his training for this event. So that would be so cool. Yeah, the official said, yeah, he can have one more if he wants it, but okay, he's changing his hand apparatus for his chair here. So maybe getting ready for Beijing, he's going to try a little different grip and see how that works for him. You never know until you get the competition. These chairs are just, I mean, people study the biomechanics of these chairs because they have to match the athlete's weight and match their disability and their seating position. So he pinned that thing in. That one seems to be a little bit bigger. Oh man, we're going with Javelin now. He doesn't even want to do his last discus throw. So I guess he uses a different hand hold for his Javelin. So we got a little bit of a wind, a little bit of a side wind here.
Practice.
So he's going to get a practice Javelin throw. And Javelin's pretty tricky. It's got to stay in the air long enough to get that tip turned down. And it doesn't have to stick, but the tip does have to hit the ground first. So you see a lot of athletes who'll throw kind of flat and not get a good stick that's in the air, and that wouldn't have been a legal throw. So that's why they give them a warm-up, you know, just to get used to the environment and used to the equipment. Scott just said this ain't my sport, so I don't know, looked like a pretty good throw to me. It was up in the air, probably better than I could do. Maybe I'll jump in a chair and try that. I think I'd be closer to where he threw his shot put. You see the little rope grip in the middle of the javelin. The last point of contact on the throw has to come off of that rope grip. So the good javelin throwers, yeah, and he's using one finger. It's going to come off his index finger or his first finger on the release. That's in the air, and I don't know. No mark on that one.
That would have counted.
Okay, yeah, I would have counted that. Official said that would have counted. I thought the tip hit first, and that's a good example of what you're looking for. As long as the tip hits the ground first, it's a clean throw. So you notice the arc on his throw. And these guys, they have coaches and sports scientists who study the parabolic arc on these throws to see what the best release angle is, and it's all science at the elite level, at the international level. So he's probably, through USOC and US Paralympics, he's probably had the best sports scientists and sports psychologists and trainers and coaches working with him, because it's quite an honor and quite a feat to medal at the Paralympic Games. Scott representing the disabled veterans from Georgia. First throw. Yeah, that's a mark. Nice. Got just enough turn on that. And I think what we're seeing is the wind blowing that javelin in the air a little bit. And one thing you want to do is try to get that javelin just a little bit of turn in the air, and that way it'll cut through the air a little bit better. Maybe not get quite so much turn. I think Scott just does javelin for fun and to show some of these new, you can see some of the newer athletes on the side watching him and studying his technique, and just being around an athlete of this caliber is so cool, and it gives them a vision of maybe what they can work for when they go back home. These newer athletes look up to these older athletes because they know the commitment and the time and the work it takes to move up in the skill level. And Scott's obviously put in the time to do that. Stretching out a little bit, joking with the crowd.
Marker ready.
Great guy. Here we go, second throw. Look at the extension on the back arm. And stretch. No throw on that one. And on the release, falls forward, good follow through. You can fall forward and touch the ground as long as it's inside the throwing circle. If he were to touch the ground outside the throwing circle, then it would be disqualified throw. And watch him as he brings the javelin back. The tip of the ground cannot touch outside. The tip of the javelin cannot touch outside the throwing circle. So he's got full extension to the back, but just making sure that he doesn't touch the ground in the back.
Ready.
Which you watch some of the junior competitors, that's pretty hard because little bitty guys, they got to keep that javelin. But it's all part of getting the right release angle. Full extension with the arm, and he's going to use everything he has in his throw here. A lot of wind. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Yep. Two good throws. We got two good throws out of that. And a nice round of applause from the crowd watching a Paralympic athlete as he trains to go represent the United States in Beijing at the 2008 Paralympics. Get in his chair and we'll catch a couple words with Scott as he comes off.